This is radio station KATS. No, Peter Sano, TV KATS. Yeah. By now, you have seen on our channel, the 802nd episode is the 3 hour and 30 some minute Transtech Metal Shot Doomsday complete miniseries live blogs live stream thingy. We released the 720p upgrade, which means it's upscale from the series. The series was 480 to 720. We blew it up from the original print from the Marlowe Fuck You collection. Yes, from that collection. So we had that because he's going to direct some of the upcoming second season of Transtech. So trans and yeah. So anyway. I thought it would be fun to have him come back. He did the Shadow Return Children stuff and some of that more recently. Also, all the making footage, he's got that too. I was going over the making footage, and although we can put we did the other two as well. We have 720 of the other two seasons of the miniseries. There's Transtech. Of Metal Shot Doomsday. That's the first season. Then there's Dark Metal Aftermath, season 2, and Dark Catharsis, which is season 3. They're all about the same length. They're just a little over 3 hours and 3 minutes as a miniseries each. 30 minutes as a miniseries, a little over almost 40 minutes. They're all miniseries, so Kal Kat and Mark's Cards, and between 2002 and 2009. That's when they were done. So they predate the other stuff. Space Bridge comes later in 2015, 2016, after Endless Circle. 2015, 2016 just happens to be, that's when they came out. 2018 for the later ones, the Shadow Children and Return of the Shadows. And of course now we have Transformers Mush. And the remaining stuff from there. Were this a classic 80s to early 90s era series, this would just be November sweeps, and we'd be jumping into December and putting on stuff that's going to be aired in January and February and March. Would be sweeps, 26 episodes, put them all together. You have a season of a TV show. It's like what this is. 10-day shoots of each individual love story. This is just a brief snippet. We're most likely going to release with all the miniseries are online. You can watch all of the miniseries as individual 20-minute episodes. They're all on the channel. There's 23 of them. You can watch all the episodes together, or you can watch each 8 episode segment like that. Decided that the full live vlog miniseries was cooler if you can stand sitting through the whole thing. The copy that was put together, the color is better, the video is better. It ain't great because it was done on video. It's not great. Part 2 was done in slightly different. The first one was done on early pre-digital video camcorder. It was early digital processor. Same thing, very similar, if not the same camera used on the Blair Witch parody. The part 2 was done. Part 2 and 3 were done with a slightly updated, uprated high 8 VCR camcorder, flip tape camcorder. The other one had flip tape conversion from the transfer, so it was like those little mini cassettes, and then it was little smaller mini cassettes basically on the later ones. The quality is a little better. Early digital processor technology from 2005 to 2009. Slightly better quality, but still no rainbow noise anymore. But still, I'm very very off, very video looking. It still looks very video. The other two are much prettier and color is better. They're all in 720p, and there's 3 of them. There's 3 miniseries that completed the Transformers saga as we saw them. Part 2 was dark metal. Aftermath was more about the continuation of the other stuff. STF-3 comes back again. It's the later 2040 ship. A lot of other crazy stuff happens. Slightly better technology, better villains, that kind of thing. Very similar to the Mush. Very similar to the Transformers Mush, but it was our own version. And that was the case with Part 3 as well, Dark Catharsis, where it was Masochistic Prime and the others. So that's no problem. So there are different continuities. I don't want to put up 2 and 3 yet as the miniseries special event and the making of the other 2 yet. I would rather put up the other 7 episodes of Bush. This was just something to put up during hiatus. The making of stuff is long, very long. It's another hour and a half, 3 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, I think, for each one of them. It's quite long. I'm not sure how much you guys want to actually see the making of. I mean, let's get on with the 7 episodes. Let's do that instead of loading up the. I don't think there's a limit, but if there is one, we'd reach it if we put the other 2 up there. Right now, perhaps next month, after we've done at least 2 or 3 of these. Then I can put up more. Next month will be next year as well. So, but it takes typically about 10 days to make a typical Mush episode. That's improved dramatically since Space Bridge and the others. It helps that we have a standing set in Studio 2. That used to be Studio 1. It's the same studio that we filmed Transtech 1, 2, and 3. And we just have the standing set sitting there and go upstairs and start shooting the whole. We can sometimes we can get out 20 minutes of dialogue done. And if it's an hour-long movie, 20 minutes dialogue, and you can have most of it shot in 5 days, and then go on to the next thing. There were 1 or 2 people wondering, well, why are with them? They seen Space Bridge and the Circle. Did you do anything with those? Well, they were up converted earlier, so they're already up there. They were already transferred and up converted several times on there, at least twice. So we don't need to do an up converted one of Space Bridge. We have one, and we don't need to do one of Return of the Shadow Children because it's there. It's on the website. You can watch it. I suppose at some point, if we get anal and want to throw it in there, say like, oh, here's Space Bridge in 1080p. Sure, we'll do that. But there's no one's begging for it, so we're not. We want to. They're doing they want the Mush, the new one, the new one. They want new stuff. But it's interesting they mentioned Space Bridge and they mentioned the thing going on. Like, well, you know what would be cool is if, like, what happened to all the lens flares and stuff? And that was annoying people. It's great where it is. You know, we're not going to change it from where it was. But we got a little overboard with the lens flares and the blinding lights and stuff and shimmering things going everywhere. And thought, let's just keep that down to a minimum. That's a little annoying. We don't do that as much anymore. Some of the planets that were mentioned in the Beast Wars thing, since it is in fact its own continuity, wouldn't be the case here. It was interesting they were mentioning 2012, and the 2012 stuff had started by 2010. So all that 2012 mystery stuff that's in there mentioned. It was also interesting to look back and see that it was. This is just a little snippet. That was the Kal Kat show was just started on there, so you get to see the beginnings of the Kal Kat show. And you also get to see the SAP 1 Productions stuff in the making of. Well, you don't get to see them in person, but you get to see them being mentioned. That was a precursor to the Kal Kat show. set. You get to see stuff like that. Post-production work stuff. Several nephews involved in that. But yeah, all volunteer. The trans tech was all volunteer. So was the new one. Yeah, but with the pandemic, they can't really bring in anybody from outside. So, Marlo, fuck you. It's just another voice for another Kal Kat character. But yeah. So, there's another movie review coming up. Because guess what I have? The 50th birthday thingy. I have this. So it's more celebrating 800. So this is the New Mutants, and Marlowe's in it. Oh dear. But yes. But yes. We're going to have to find out about that one. But yes. This was like 3 years in the making. Yeah, kind of like Trans Tech, but with mutants. Anyway, so. I hear that it kind of tanked, but hey, we got it for free, so yeah, it was a birthday present. So. Yeah, it was with a Target card, but it was a birthday present. Yeah, Target gift card from my sister. So I bought a horror movie about that X-Men. That makes sense. She probably would have bought it for me. Anyway, so hey, I'm not gonna knock it if I got it for nothing. but yeah, it's exciting that Trans-Tech Metal Shot Doomsday is up again, and this time you get to see it in glorious 720p. I know that doesn't sound very impressive, but it was 480 originally when it was broadcast, so for free. So seeing it at 720, the whole miniseries uncut is awesome. And getting to see the Strabog of the Metrashod getting destroyed, the Transformers. Took him years. Yes, to see that again. So this is a an even brief snippet. The channel, the Kal Kat channel, Weird Kitty channel has decided that we will download all of the Trans Tech 3 miniseries and the making of documentaries. They're all on the channel. They're being uploaded right now, so you can go and watch all of them. We compressed them enough so that they could go in there. They're still 720, yeah, they all fit, so it's fine. So we're going to go with that, and we're going to do some early filming on the first episode of Season 7, see what it looks like, see what things gel together. On the second season of the Transformers, alternate Transformers mush. With that Marlo Fakir. Yes, who provided the Trans Tech DVDs that we used to make the transfer. So I have those. Yes. Yes. I put them up for you. Yes. So yes. So we're putting that up, and I went through all of them. I watched them all last night after I did the other taping, and then took out all of the music cues that were in there and the trailers. You don't want those. Actually, they did flag, so they're not there. And left in all the bloopers instead, and even the semi-raunchiest ones are not that raunchy, really, compared to what's also on YouTube. So I just said, why 17? These are suggestive, but they're clearly plastic, so don't worry about it. Yeah, so everything's in there. Some of the funny gags that are implicit in the implications are there at the end. You get to see what they're talking about, like when Strabog screams about his wife, or when Max Sterling has a love affair for Cheetor, or when Rat Trap talks about Chuck E. Cheese, or various other things. It's all in there for you to enjoy. When Destro and Cobra Commander share an intimate moment, when Strabog takes a metal poop, it's there. All of it. It's all. So anyway, Strabog of the Metal Shot. It's a lot of Strabog overacting in those behind-the-scenes scenes. Yeah, it was ultimately awesome to go through that and have that done. But the miniseries is there if you want to watch the 23 episodes that make up the miniseries, or if you want to watch all of those. You can also watch those again, but they were 480. They were not 720. So the color was a little off. It was a little weird. We were using... Apparently the first camera was a mini DV CD converter that made like early, very preliminary early digital video camera recorder, very similar to the one used in the beginning of Trans. The footage from that camcorder actually died during that, and then we got another one that was similar, that was a mini DV as well, and used that one. Then for 2 and 3 we had slightly more, it's still video, still shot on Shidio, as they say. Still video, and so we did more with that. With this mini DV, that's another mini DV camera that did not have any rainbow noise because it was all a digital, early primitive 2004 era digital processor going on back and forth. You can tell some of the early stuff is still the mini DV, 2000 up till 2004, and then it's suddenly the better mini DV camera after that, and you can kind of tell when you watch the previews and stuff. You go, oh, wait a second, yeah, you can tell when he got the better camcorder. There's a decidable difference. You could bounce that up to 1080. It'd probably be fine. But I didn't want to do that because it would have been huge. The file would have been too big. 720 is fine for that. Space Bridge, same thing. 720 is fine. We have a 1080 version of Space Bridge and Endless Circle. And also, we also have that. But I'm not going to put those up because we already got the other one up there and no one's really clamoring for more Space Bridge and 1080. It's the same video. An appreciable difference between 1080 and 720 is not that much. But blowing up something that was 480 to 720, there's a little loss leader loss in there. And you can tell. Yeah, that mini DV video does not hold up. But it does look way better than the miniseries as aired in 2014 on there. The original DVD broadcasts were from KTS were done... in 2010, when the miniseries came out and aired alongside the Cartoon Network, but not on Cartoon Network, obviously. Everything was free. You watch the aired DVD version, yeah, each of the actors, quote unquote, that were in it, got a copy of the DVD box set, and that's what this was one of them. Not sure where mine ended up. Anyway, but yeah, So the original AVI files, they were recorded in Photoshop, back in the day when it was Photoshop Elements 3. Wow. That's a long way back. Wow, Photoshop Elements 3. And 6, I believe, was the last one. Photoshop Elements 6. Ooh. Wow. Now it's up to 2020, but we're currently using Photoshop Element 15, and this camera is a Canon Vixia 700 and an 800. Yeah, 600 was last season. 700 and 800. And an 800. And the 800 is just a hair better at some things, but not better at other things. This older 600 is actually better, 700 I should say. This older 700 is better for close-ups and lighting when the lighting is weird like it is right now. Yeah, when the lighting is off a little bit. It's better for that. It doesn't go all out of focus and stuff. Whereas the newer one would, which is weird. But the newer one does lighting background and foreground better. It does like dramatic scenes and motion better than this one does. I don't know why the processor is that much different between 1 year's model and the next year's model. This is like the, I think this is the, this is like the 2017 and there's like the 2018. I don't know why they're vastly different like that. It's weird. Anyway, so, but yeah, if you want to know the cameras that are being used on the early stuff, those were video cameras. That's why it doesn't look so great on those older video cameras. This is a completely digital processor. You plug in a SD card. It's an SD, so it's flash memory, basically. No moving parts. Like in those old cameras, you would hear the moving parts. And especially those mini DV cameras, which were sold, everybody at a graduation had one. Between like all of the 2010s, everybody had a graduation camcorder. They were cheap, easy to get a hold of, and they were a mini high 8, very similar to the high 8 ones from back in the day. Mini high 8, smaller than the the blown up DV ones that were converted off of DV. That, yeah, and Transtech was remastered for the computer from the originals and completely recut, which is why why their behind the scenes goes on longer, because we completely remastered the movie for 2010 from the 2003 one. Yeah, had to start over pretty much from scratch about halfway through. The new one and the two sequels were back to back. So yeah, this is a little bit about that filming and stuff, because I didn't put any Lost Leader for that on there. That's what this is. But yeah, the Mark's Cards, it was not available for this particular remastering 2020, but yes, he knows about it. And he was wondering if some of that stuff could go up. And yeah, I think it absolutely will. It absolutely is up, because there's no, those videos are not gonna get flagged in any way. There's as long as you say it's not for kids, it's COPPA compliant, it's DMCA compliant, and there's suggested material, caution is advised, PG-13, the equivalent Y-17. Yeah, it's not bad. It's like cartoon characters. It's like back in the day with journals and stuff. I would say like, oh, the premise is that if you mention the word sex, it throws off some algorithm. Even if it's like, but if you mention the word murder, it likes that. I don't know why. It doesn't mind the words. It's weird. The algorithms are weird. But yeah, if it's a fictional universe and they're plastic, there shouldn't be any problem with that. So, well, look at this. The processor's thing. Because like, it's trying to focus on the light from the computer that way. Or yeah, this is the earlier one. This is the 600. Yeah, even here. And no noise. And that old mini DV camera was really annoying, because you can tell older YouTube videos from the mid 2000s. You can totally tell them that they're mini DVs, because you will hear when they try to pull in the focus, for some reason they decide to make a noise. So there would be this weird like, and you would hear this audible noise that didn't need to be there, that they put in there as the processor was struggling to do a focus. It was weird. I was like, what? Why? It screwed up so many shots in there, because I think it was like, what? What is it? It's like, yeah, and the one from the early footage, the first 40 minutes of the Transtech, that camera died quick. I have to get the other one. So yeah, it didn't last long. Actually, the old ancient original camera from Starcrackers was a JVC JVCC, similar to the one in Back to the Future. We destroyed it for the premiere of the Kal Kat show, 2009. So these stories are like just before 2009. So all of them, yeah. The Kal Kat show didn't have widescreen yet until 2011. So there's like, yeah, and also some questions were asked in the other thing about how like I'm gonna ignore the beeping noise from outside and just keep going. How the I'll set it up here, since I'm kind of going on a little bit. I want to ramble a little bit about this. Okay, so I was going on about yeah, that's annoying. I was going on about like they mentioned 2012 in the stories, and that's the 2012 craze hadn't started yet, because it was like 2008, 2007, and 2008, and so there was a 2012 movie in 2010. So as they got toward the end of the craze started there, and Mark's Cards asked me on the set. He said, so did you actually know about this 2012 stuff and put it in the movie and made it 2012 at the end of the script? And I said, well, that's what I have to say now. No, I didn't. The 2012 stuff was very similar to the Millennium stuff. They just kicked it up 12 years and said, oh no, now's the end of the world. Millennium, the Mayan calendar and all that. Kal Kat show joked about that, because we were right there in the middle of it. And we already went there, and we said, no, we're going to be here on December 21st, 2012 and joke about it. And it was an episode of the Kal Kat show. So we did joke about that when it started. Sap One Productions, a lot of stuff behind the scenes. There was a lot of, yeah, They did a lot of it on the background stuff. Also, it was the last time that all 4 of the original cast members were on the set at any given time. It was the first one. Just 3 of us on the second one from Starcrackers. All 4 of us appeared 1 or 2 times during the making of this trilogy of stories. At one point, there was a mall gathering, 2004 or 5, I believe. 2006. That was during the second one. So all in 2006. There was 2004 and then 2006, and there was like pictures from that. The cast met. There was a casting to do team pickups and other things. So we got Jim Buffkin on hand. 2004 and 2006. During this, so there's all this other stuff that was going on. Yeah, nobody was paid. It was volunteer. The original ended with, yeah. So I am not going to answer that stupid buzzer. I'm going to let it go on. And I just do this, and I'm not going to do this over. So so here we have our movie, and hope you enjoy it. Yeah, we were on the set. The backgrounds were inspired by Tim Cantrell, and we put them together, of course, but inspired by, and Buffkin, Jim Buffkin. Jim Buffkin inspired the look of the plasma chamber and all that other stuff, the Oracle chamber and all that. And in the new one, we go to a different version of the Oracle chamber, different timeline, different sort of thing going on. The new one's completely different. So. Anyway, that is my little reach around thing.